phenomenal podcast for you today. Thank you all for joining us. I hope you're all having a great day. Marley and I sure are. I'm sorry. I know it's Thursday and KellyGirl's usually with us on Thursdays, but we have a mountain of paperwork and stuff to go through to get ready for taxes. So she's taking a powder on today's show. So I'm going to be here to answer all of your questions today. Send in any of your questions to 949-374-0786. I'll do my very best to answer your questions the best of my ability. You can also ask me any questions you want about Kelly, and I can actually say stuff about her today because she's not watching. She's actually working. What'd you say? Hey, she says she can hear us still, so we have to be careful. But gang, I want to thank you all for a phenomenal week. I was talking to Justin just before we went live. Justin has 2 days available in February. That's it. Everything's booked. The whole month of February. It's February 1st. He's already booked out from February. It's incredible. He's got one open party trip that he's going to open up, and that's going to be the only day he's got that you can go with him. He's going to open that one up here in a couple of days. He's just he's got so much to do. It's incredible. And that's because of us. That's because of all of us on your Saltwater Guide, the members, the followers, everybody that watches our shows every day, and everybody that watches that live show every night. It's absolutely incredible, the power of us, all of us combined. He can't not run a trip. He's trying to take a day off. The phone never stops ringing. Everybody wants to go experience this world-class lobster fishing that he's doing. Everybody wants to get out there and see what's going on. And why is there so many lobsters? And I don't know if you saw what happened last night, but he lost probably a world record lobster because, Tut, I'm only talking about you because I love you. But they stopped the animal. The lobster was hanging on the outside of the net, and they stopped to see if they could grab him. When you have a lobster holding on, like Kelly's giant lobster, when it comes up to the surface, it's going to hang on to that hoop net. You want to throw that thing on the boat immediately. I tell all my members and all my clients over all the years of hoop netting, it's so much easier to look at your lobsters and look at everything in the hoop net when it's laying on the deck instead of laying in the water. But for some strange reason, everybody wants to look at it right when it comes up to the top. They want to stop and look at it in the water. It is crazy, gang. You want to get that hoop net on the boat as quick as possible. I'm just getting Marley a snack while we're talking. So you want to get that hoop net on the boat as fast as you can. You don't want to leave it hanging over the side. And look, here you go. Here you go. Here you go. He came running over for that snacky. Yeah, Marley. There you go, bud. That's a nice little snack for Marley. He's right here having a little snack. I don't know if you can see him, but it's Pacific Sport Fishing Alliance Thursday. We always start the show off talking about Pacific Sport Fishing Alliance, and today's no different. We're Don Stanley. That is you. Don, Justin wanted me to let you know you won the contest last night, the Promar giveaway. So Don Stanley, you need to call Justin. If you don't have his number, you can send me a text, 949-374-0786, and I will get you his number right away. But he's got a prize for you, Don. So give him a call. And hey, Kim and Dan, everybody jumping on here, Tim, everybody, thank you all very, very much. Thanks for jumping on here. Thanks for being a part of. Thanks for watching me and my monkey every day. I appreciate it. That's Marley, the rescue monkey, those of you that are new to the show. And gang, like we do when we're doing the live in the harbor, gang, whoever shares this the most today is going to win a free t-shirt. And we'll announce that. I can't see all the people that shared it, but we'll announce that tomorrow's show. or I'll just send you guys a PM tonight or something. But gang, how do you share it? Go to the bottom of the page, right where it says comments. Go to the left-hand side, bottom of the page. Hit that little arrow right there, and that'll bring up all your friends. And then you can just grab that fish report, Pete. I suck. We caught 0. And I listened. I did exactly what you told me to. I listened to my guide, but we sucked. We caught nothing. Saw a couple of skipjack caught on a couple other boats, but we caught nothing. I guess there's a big school of stripers over at Distilladera, but we're not going over there on a pond on a half-day trip. And we went to where the Dorado bit yesterday, and we made sure that they weren't biting today, Pete. So I guess I got to wait until my good buddy Pete takes me fishing again to catch something. But we went out and paddled around all morning on a ponga. That's what Pete's asking about. And we didn't catch anything today. We got skunked. But I listened to the guide. I kept my mouth shut, Pete. I did what you told me to do. And I don't think I would have changed me talking. I don't think that would have changed a thing. We had a great plan. We slow trolled ballyhoos. We had live bait. We had dead bait. We had everything we could possibly have. Just never saw any fish. I don't know. Looked like the water rolled over a little bit up there by Cubby Flats. So I don't know. And then there's purple water there off of Santa Maria. But that's what happened today out on the boat. Gang, if you have any questions, you can send them to me right now, 949-374-0786, or you can throw them up on the board here, and I'll do my very best to answer them. And it's Pacific Sport Fishing Alliance Thursday, and Larry Hansen and I are doing that Alaska trip in September. And you can grab that QR code right there in front of the screen, and then you can find out what's going on with this trip to Alaska. And then we're getting ready to put together some trips for Lopez Mateos. We were talking about both of these places at our live show at the Bard Hall Fish and Tackle and Boat Show in Long Beach. And now we're here on the show talking about it. We're going to put together some dates for you guys to come fish with Kelly and I and Larry down in Lopez Mateos. But you got a perfect opportunity to fish with Kelly Girl and I and Larry up in Gustavus, Alaska. The first week, there's still 1 spot available. The second week, there's still 4 spots available. So jump on that, gang. It's a bucket list, once-in-a-lifetime trip, like Larry was saying. Don't wait for the bucket list trip to go on. Let's do it while we're alive. Let's do it while we're here. Let's do it while we can walk and talk and chew gum and go fish. Don't wait, because you know what happens when you wait. All that garbage happens in life, and then you don't get to go. So jump in there, get on that trip. That's that QR code right there in front of you. Jump on that. Grab that QR code, gang. I'm going to pull it down here in a second. So grab the QR code and go with us to Gustavus, Alaska. It's going to be so much fun. I am really looking forward to getting up there and fishing those halibut and those big lingcod and going tromping around by myself. Maybe see what else is there. Go explore, go to the national park, go see all the grizzly bears. There's so much stuff that Kelly and I are excited to go do besides the fishing and hanging out with a handful of you guys that go on the trip with us. That'll be incredible. So we're really looking forward to that. And back to what I was telling you before, gang, you want to grab that share button on the bottom right where it says comment. There's a little swoosh. That is, you grab that, push it. It's going to bring up all your contacts or your groups or your friends. Whoever shares this podcast today the most is going to win a brand new Your Saltwater Guide shirt. We have brand new swag. Elliot's wife put together some unbelievable swag over at Your Saltwater Guide, the store. You can check all that stuff out, and we're going to be giving that away. For whoever shares the most today is going to win a shirt, and we'll let you know. But hit that share button. Hit every person in your list of friends. Share it with all of them. That's how you win. If you want to win a shirt, it's free. All you got to do is push share, because you don't know. One of your friends might like to watch something positive for a change instead of that lying media. So you never know. We got a few questions coming in here, and we got John Stanley. Do I have to wait for my sardines to die before putting them in the bait tubes? No. What happens is, John, you pull up to the bait barge, you get that sardine that they have. I throw it in a 5-gallon bucket, then I throw a towel over the top so they don't fling scales everywhere. Then I get all my tubes ready, and I do like Justin does. I throw all the sardines in a bucket, and then I mash them up with the chopper, and then I just start filling up my tubes as fast as I can. The sardines are dead, but they're fresh because you just got them out of the bait barge. So you know how fresh they are. And then you just fill it, but you don't put them in there live. No, you don't want them in live. You do it just like that. Okay, so Tim Ogilvy wants to know, why is it, just curious, why is it legal for a licensed guide to pick up at a client at the launch ramp? Well, it's not. Licensed guides go with you on your boat. All right. So if they're going with you on your boat, they're not picking you up. You're taking them. You are taking them on your boat to go fish with you. Now, nobody's getting paid to take passengers for hire. That's where the difference is, Tim. So when you have a charter boat, we won't mention any names, but if you have a charter boat, the marinas that you run your charter boat out of, they don't want to carry the personal injury insurance for passengers for hire. They're not getting a percentage when you pick up people on the launch, the county of Orange or the county of LA or the county of Long Beach or the county of San Diego. They're not getting any compensation for you picking up on the launch ramp on a charter boat. That is different than you picking up a guide on a dock, because the guide's just coming out to teach you how to use your boat. But when you charter a boat, that's a whole different animal. That's a whole different set of responsibility. That's a whole different insurance policy. They have to be licensed by the United States Coast Guard, first of all, for taking passengers for hire. A guide does not have to have a United States Coast Guard license, even though my guides that work for your saltwater guide all do have captain's licenses. They have to, by law, have a guide license. Two totally different things. As soon as someone pays to go on your boat, that is called passenger for hire. And we can argue about this till the cows come home, gang. I don't really know what I'm talking about. Family only has 9 sport boats and own a landing. But yeah, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to help. So when you pick it up, Tim Ogilvy, you go to the launch ramp and you pick up Pablo or Sonny or Justin, you're going to just pick them up on the launch ramp. There's no extra insurance or anything like that involved. But now if you take your little boat and you're going to start running charters, now that's a whole different set of responsibility. Plus, they don't want to carry the responsibility. I don't know if you guys know or not, but in California, everybody's ready to sue you at any given second. So if someone walks down the launch ramp and stubs their toe and then it gets infected and they lose their foot, they're coming after a whole bunch of people. First, they're going to come after the very first thing they're going to do is come after the county, because their dock, the launch ramp, the cleat was all rusty and it wasn't perfect. And the minute they say, hey, we want compensation, the county or they're going to say, were you on a charter or were you out with just some friends? And they're going to say, I was on a charter. Well, there you go. Now the person that chartered that has their boat for charter, passenger for hire, now they don't have any insurance. The county is going to go after them for running illegal operations off of the launch ramps in the harbor. It's totally illegal. So when we talk about it, when Justin and Pablo and Sonny and I are on here talking about it, Tim, that's what we're talking about. All right, gang, you can send in your questions. You can share over on YouTube. You can send in your questions. I'll get them. the best I can, but I will listen to your whoops. What's your question? Well, here's the deal, Harry. I get 30 million views on my social media a month. So somebody is listening to me. We have a plethora of high-end sponsors that think someone's listening to me. So I think people are listening to me, Harry. To be perfectly honest with you, I think people are listening to me. But thank you very much for listening to me. I do appreciate that. But let's see. Justin, try that link that I sent you. It should still work. If you can do that, you can jump on here and be a part of this show. It'd be fun because KellyGirl's super busy. She's got her head in a bunch of paperwork, and I couldn't. And yeah, the guides are bonded through the Department of Fishing game, but that's not the same. There's two different things we're talking about here, Justin. Tim just wanted to know why it's legal to pick the guides up on the dock because it's not passengers for hire. And now here's a great question. And I love this question. I get asked this question all the time. I don't see your name, and for that I apologize. But you'll know who you are right away to send your name. Dave, do you feel the fish caught in San Diego Bay are safe to eat? A lot of people have told me not to eat them. Well, I'll just say your name's Sam because I don't know your name. Does it work, Justin? See if it works. I'll bring you on the show. Here's my theory on that one. Could be totally wrong, but this is my theory on eating fish out of the back of LA Harbor or San Diego Harbor or any. Do you eat cow or chicken? I do, but we really don't care about what we eat anyway because they put so much garbage in the cows and the chickens that really most fish that you catch inside of San Diego Bay or LA Harbor, they're still better quality of meat than a cow or a chicken. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about cows or chickens because I eat both of them. So I'm just answering the question. If you're worried about the fish that swim around inside of LA Long Beach Harbor or San Diego Harbor, then I would highly suggest that you stop eating cows and chickens because that stuff is unbelievable. Or maybe stop eating fruits and vegetables too, because it's all produced through Monsanto and Dow Corporation. They control all the food we eat, gang. So if you don't think you're eating a bunch of garbage, you're highly mistaken. I think it's probably healthier to eat a fish out of the back of San Diego Bay than it is to eat this manipulated food that we eat on a daily basis. But I'm not going to stop eating either one. I'm still going to eat the lobsters and the halibut that come out of LA, San Diego harbors, and I'm still going to eat the cows and the chickens. Yeah, Jeanette, Kelly couldn't be on here today. We have a mountain of paperwork we're trying to sort out to get ready for taxes. So she's got a big pile of and I was like, baby, today you can take a break. You don't have to be a part of the show. And then John Stanley, why does a kid have to wear a life jacket on my boat, but not on a sport boat? That is a phenomenal question. That is a phenomenal question. By law, they're supposed to wear, that's what the law says. But life jackets that we carry on sport boats aren't made to be worn walking around. It's almost impossible. Now, the ones that you guys have, the little jackets that look like a little flak jacket, little army vest, those are perfect for the children to wear. But the ones we have on the sport boats, they almost look like a guillotine. They have that big chunk of foam that sticks on their neck, and then you tie it down. They're made to be worn in the water, not on land. So they're not a very comfortable outfit. It's probably the number one reason why we don't wear it on a sport boat. Plus, on a sport boat, you have 2 or 3 people in charge of watching everybody on the boat. Now, Devin Cruz, you're on here right now. What do you think the theory is the Coast Guard doesn't enforce that life jacket thing on the sport boats like it does on private boats as far as children. I'm not really positive on the answer. It is kind of weird, John, but I'm not positive on the answer. But gang, if you have any questions, feel free to text me at 949-374-0786. I'll answer your questions as quick as I possibly can. Gang, how cool was that? How cool was that show the other night with Amir and myself and Justin and Pat and Uncle Steve and Brian from Promar, and they just put together a phenomenal, just a really, really cool video from that trip the other night. If you haven't been on the Promar Ahi social media page, you might want to go check that out. It is a spectacular video. They mishmashed a whole bunch of stuff together. It makes it look like we were actually really having fun out there. And I think we were. We were having so much fun. Listen to this. Amir K, even though he's super busy traveling all over the place, he wants to be a regular here on the show. He wants to start being a regular attraction here on the show. So we're going to bring old Amir in. Hey, I just lost all. Gang, if you had a question and I didn't see it, send them back. Everything just fell off, but it's back on now. Send your questions. Justin, I just sent you a brand new link. I don't know if you got it. We had so much fun, Steve. That was just unbelievable. And Justin, my gosh, he studied that harbor. I fished that harbor for a very long time, and I got to fish some areas that I had no idea. You want us to watch us brush the monkey? Well, he's right up top there, and he's not having any brushing being done today because only person that gets to brush Marley is his mom. There he is. So his mom's the only one that gets to brush him. Yeah, I did. I took that poor little octopus for a ride, didn't I? I'll do anything for views, gang. You know that. I stuck that filthy, dirty octopus from the inside of Long Beach Harbor. He was covered in Long Beach Harbor mud. I put him in my mouth. What is wrong with me? Isn't that wild? Crazy. What a knucklehead. I'll do anything for a laugh and anything for a view. And we got both of them on that show. But Amir K is going to come back on the show either Monday or Tuesday and be with us. Hopefully he's going to come on Monday with Justin. We're going to recap the week fishing. I hear you guys are getting a phenomenal amount of rain today. So with all that rain and all that wind today and tomorrow, our game plans for this weekend coming off on the website, they're going to be a little less information because of the fact that we don't really know what's going to happen. I heard the weatherman on KTLA this morning saying that there could be a possibility of 5 inches of rain today through tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and then again, you're going to have a little break, and then Monday could have another 5 to 6 inches of rain. And I know it's Southern California, and I know that doesn't mean anything, but I heard it's raining there right now. One of our members said he had to turn his windshield wipers on. So that's a big day in Southern California when you got to turn on your windshield wipers. So yeah, it's Storm Watch 2024. Gang, send in your questions. I don't have any questions right now, so I'm just going to talk. I'd love to answer anybody's questions. Can you explain bag limits and how to maximize grocery fishing? Wow, Jimmy, I would say the best way to do that is to go to the store and buy some fish. I don't think it'll ever pencil out with the price of fuel today and all the dry goods and everything else. I don't think it'll pencil out to be financially feasible to go grocery fishing. But if you were gonna, here's the deal. The law clearly states that you can't have more than you're physically allowed to have in possession at any one time. So and this is a thing that a lot of people don't understand. When you signed your fishing license, you told the California Fish and Wildlife that they're allowed in your home, without a warrant. They're allowed in your car without a warrant, because probable cause is the fact that you signed your fishing license. We can play, you can call me, you can say, no, that isn't true all day, but it is. The California Fish and Wildlife has access. As soon as you sign your fishing license, they can come in your home whenever they want. They can knock on the door and ask you if they can come in, or they can just come in. It's totally up to them. Normally, they're very polite and they ask, but they're coming in and they're going to open your refrigerator and your freezer, and they're going to look, and they're going to see how many lobsters you have. They're going to see how many fish you have. So by law, you can have, I don't even know, two red rockfish, this and that. Now, you don't have to have the patch of skin on there, but the number one thing they're going to be looking for, Jimmy, is they're going to be looking at the lobsters in possession. Now, you can go to the Fish and Wildlife. You can't do it online, but you can get a fishing wildlife multi-day permit. You can purchase that at the Fish and Wildlife office. And then if you have that multi-day permit, I would suggest getting a copy of it. And if, let's say, Jimmy, you and Kim and Dan all went on your boat and we're all using that multi-day permit, there's only one per boat, but it covers your passengers. You put their names on it. Dan and Kim would want to have a copy of that multi-day permit. Now, let's say you told the Fish and Wildlife you left today at 11 a.m. If you leave after 11, today doesn't count in your multi-day permit. Tomorrow would be. But if you told them you left this morning at 11, then you can have limits for today, your lobster limits. If you told them you're going to go leave at 11 today and you're going to be back on Sunday, you can have your limits. You can have 3 days worth of limits is the maximum. So you can have limits for today, Friday, and Saturday. So you could have 21 lobsters in your freezer, but you better have that multi-day permit with you, and just hang it on the wall or put it on a magnet on your refrigerator or whatever, because you want to have it with you. Yeah, they can pull you over on the freeway if you see a fishing rod sticking out the window and just check you. That, and you can argue with me all day long, gang, but if you look at the fine print on the back, it says you've read every single regulation, and you know every regulation, and you know where the MLPs are drawn, and you know how they change the rockfish possession limits every 15, 20 minutes. Sometimes they'll even change it while you're out there doing it. It's pretty amazing how they have that power, but they do have that power. And remember, we go back to what we were talking about before. It has nothing to do with the population of the fish in the ocean. This is all about control and stopping us from fishing. That's why it's super important to be involved with CCA. CCA California is where you need to be involved to make sure that we keep our rights open to go fishing. But gang, that Fish and Wildlife thing you're talking about, Devin's putting it up there right now. It's super important to understand that when you sign your fishing license, you signed away your rights for your search and seizure rights, because probable cause is your fishing license. You can be driving down the road with the fishing rod hanging out of the back that's never even seen the water. That doesn't matter. They can pull you over and take everything out of your car and see what you got, gang. So just understand that. And then here's a perfect one, Tim Ogilvy. We've had this conversation so many times, and it's perfect for the show though, and I appreciate it. So don't apologize. Tim Ogilvy wants to know if it's necessary to have a 2-speed reel. I personally have a couple reels that have that 2-speed in it. I hardly ever fish. I don't fish as much as most of you. I understand that, but I've never needed a 2-speed reel. Tim, I don't think you need a 2-speed reel. A lot of people think they need a 2-speed reel. When we were fighting those big bluefin, catching those, 7, 8, 10 of those big bluefin a day with that 130 Machaira reel, I don't even think there was 10 times in the 5 years we used those two 130s with the 2 speeds on them that we ever clicked it into low gear. I know a lot of guys like to do that at the rail, whether rail rodding them and the fight's going on forever. But if you're on your own private boat, I don't think there's a reason for that, Tim. Uh, it's a it's a huge gimmick, especially on the smaller reels. You asked my opinion. I don't tell you Dave Burris's opinion. I'm not telling you Steve Duncan's opinion. I'm telling you mine from fishing at a pretty high level for 49 years. I don't see the need for it, but if you have to have one, then you have to have one. I don't know what you possibly could want to use it for, because I like when I turn the handle for the spool to go around 6.5 times or 7 times. I grew up with the oh, thank you. Thank you, Pablo. Pablo, I need a little bit of a game plan for this afternoon also. I sent you a text. I personally haven't needed a 2-speed reel, and I fish a lot of yellowtail. I fish a lot of smaller grade tuna, not a lot of that bigger tuna, and I'm not going on sport boats, and I'm not getting drug around the rail and doing the rail rod thing. That rail rod thing looks like it would be cool, using the boat as a fulcrum and teeter-tottering on the rail and getting a half a turn at a time. Then I could understand it. But Tim, we're not doing that. I know you. You're not doing that. You're not going out there. Get a couple of Tesoro, the Tesoro series reels from Akuma, or a couple of Cortez. Those things are going to work just fine for what you're doing. I know a guy asked me at the show, do you want to 2-speed for rock cod? No. No, I'm going to slow down my wind when I'm winding it up with the 6.5 to 1 gear ratio, but I don't want to click it into low gear and get 1 foot per turn. That's what happens when you go into low gear. It takes all the torque off the handle and allows you to turn the handle freely, like when you're riding your 10-speed up a hill back when we were kids. We first saw that, and it felt like you weren't even. But remember, you're turning the handle 10 times to get the same amount of line as you do when it's in regular gear, when it's in low gear. So that's my opinion. That's all I have is my opinion. I don't know what you guys like to do. I don't know how you like to do it. And they didn't ask you, they asked me. Captain Dave, what's your go-to seafood soup on a cold, rainy day? Cioppino. I love it. My buddy Kenny Nielsen used to make the most spectacular cioppino. He'd throw in all kinds of octopus, crabs, and shrimp and lobster, and it was just phenomenal. What? Cubby, I'm calling you when this is over. What are you doing, for God's sake? I thought you guys were coming down here in 3 days. Now you're in the hospital, for God's sakes. Oh, you're just getting your procedure. Okay, now I see. After the procedure. Oh, I hope that doesn't mean something bad's happening. I'll call you. All right. So that's what I like is cioppino with some, oh my God, with some fresh sourdough bread. Oh my, that's Kelly girl and I. Oh, you're coming Monday. Yoo-hoo, whoopee. Far out. It's starting to get warm again. Let's go have fun. Let's go kill some stuff. Okay, Dave Burris, you need to come up here. You want rain? How did you know? Oh, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to talk about I'm not going to tell him what time I'm coming in when I have all that stuff on the boat, Dave Burris. Stop it. Okay, good. All right, Cub. I love you, man. You got me all worried there. Good. You're okay. All right. John Stanley, my daughter and I saw orcas last weekend, and it was just luck. What strategy or plan should we use to find or see them again? Or any whales? Okay, I was lucky enough to run the whale watch boat for, oh my gosh, a very long time, maybe 10 years. And we 5 trips a day, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 4 o'clock on the weekends. And during the week, we did it at 10, 12, and 2. And I'll tell you what, there's no special devices to find whales. If someone tells you they got a special device, you should run like heck because they're lying. They're probably working on a news channel, doing network news, but There's no special way. The only way you can find them, John Stanley, is to go off, get out there and stare at water. The number one thing I would say is when it's a day like today and it doesn't have any rain, the spouts show perfect in that dark sky background. It was my favorite time to whale watch when it was all stormy on the background of the sky and you could see all the darkness and you could see the spouts show up perfect with that dark sky behind it. And then when it's flat, glassy, calm, and it's super sunny and there's not a breath of wind, it's tough to see them. So you're going to be reacting more to a back or a fluke or a dorsal fin, which is pretty much how we've spotted them for years and years and years. Anything that doesn't look like water, what I used to tell all my passengers on the boat when we were leaving the harbor, I go, hey, gang, I do my very best to find the whales for you, but I could use everybody's help. Just stare out there at the water. If you see a back or a spout or a fluke, which is the whale's tail, feel free to point it out to me or one of my crew members. We'll be more than happy to check it out because we do miss stuff and we miss it all the time. So it's head on a swivel when you're having your conversation, when you're out driving around on your boat. It's head on a swivel, paying attention to what's going on and looking for those spouts, backs, and flukes, John Stanley. Hopefully that helps. And we've got our good buddy, the star of your saltwater guide, Justin Botrell. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Oh, hey, how are you guys?
I'm like, hey, he's not looking. I'm going to put him on. There you go. Justin, I'm shocked at how busy you are, but we got a few questions to ask. So just stay there and I'll be with you in a second. Do you ever use mono to fish with soft mouths like white sea bass? No, what I do is my rods are 9 foot or 10 foot long with a soft tip. So that's how I got away from that. Back when we used to fish with mono all the time, we would do it and it would not rip the fish's face off. Now using braid and fluorocarbon, we're going to use a rod with a little bit softer tip so that the rod's very flexible for the first 3 or 4 guides. And that softer tip's going to allow it to give a little flex when you go to set the hook so that you don't rip the fish's mouth off or face off. If that makes sense, that's how I go about it. I talk about it all the time on my shows. Dave, what was your worst scorpion? What was your worst sculpin? My buddy Max Bosler, Max Jr. worked with me for years, followed me around on all the yachts I ran and worked on the Clemente with me and Mel Bacon. 1983, we were having we weren't. I was throwing fish at him. When we catch sheephead, we were using red crabs for bait, and I would keep throwing fish at him. And he told me to stop it. And even Mel, he was running the boat. He said, hey, leave Max alone. You got to stop that. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw someone catch a sculpin. Max came over to me. I was taking a sheep's head off the line, and he dropped the sculpin down my shirt. And the spines of the sculpin stuck in my spine on my back. And I'm not even making this up. The pain was so mind-boggling that I couldn't feel my legs. That was the worst spine I ever had. And then the worst inflicted spine was Kelly and I were fishing on my buddy's boat, and we were fishing that Ace Wreck out off the San Clemente Pier. And we were catching sculpin full speed, and I was going to take him home and make tacos with him. And I got a pec fin under my thumbnail on my right thumb. And the pain was incredible. Kelly was on the boat. She thought I was going to pass out. The pain was mind-boggling. Those sculpin are nothing to mess around with, Devo. They're a bad, bad fish that cause a lot of problems. But gang, if you have any questions, feel free to send them in. And Justin, what is going on?
Not much.
Really? Not much, huh?
Just trying to change the world of lobster fishing, huh?
Your phone ever ring this much before in your life?
No, it's bonkers.
Even
so when I talked to you earlier, I had 2 days left, for this month. And then right after you started the show, 1 day booked up. So I'm like, okay, what do I do?
So you have 1 day left
Yeah.
for the whole month of February, and it's the 1st.
I know. Freaking
That,
crazy.
that is pretty
But man,
amazing. So, hey,
we almost wrote history yesterday. I'll tell you what, man. Oh, I can't even explain it. I'm lost of words. That lobster was so freaking big. It took up a 36-inch net. The whole thing just when as everyone's seen the other night or a few nights ago when I was pulling up all those crabs and it was loaded. That's what it looked like. I thought, oh man, we got a whole bunch of crabs or a whole bunch of lobsters. No, one lobster. One gigantor. I was, oh my God.
But you know what that showed everybody, and I talk about this. I have it on my website, yoursaltwaterguide.com. I talk about how important it is when you're pulling those nets from the water to the boat. It's got to go straight onto the deck. Tut was there. He's watching us right now. That was when that net comes up and they're hanging on it. You need to wing that whole net on the boat as fast as you can. No hesitation. Don't even think. You got to stop thinking. Too many times I watch too many people bring it up and they want to look at what's inside the net in the water. That is, I don't understand it. It's so much easier to see everything when it's laying on the deck, gang.
Yeah.
You guys have watched Justin night after night, which we've never done before. We get to go and have a website like mine and try to explain to everybody what we're seeing all the time. But you guys, how many hitchhikers have you seen this year? I seen 3 with Justin that I know of, and they were all big. Nothing like the one last night, but when that hitchhiker's hanging on there, gang, you got to wing that thing on the boat, whether there's a hitchhiker or not. From the water to the deck, that should be one smooth move, quick, fast. Never, ever sort them out on the railing. Never sort them out in the corner. Always watered boat. You're straight pulling, right? Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, absolutely. I would rather you fling it and try to hit me on the boat than just looking at it over the rail. I try to tell everyone, stop trying to look at the lobsters over the rail. When you're pulling up, just take a step back. You hear me all the time. Step back, step back. It's for a reason. I don't want you looking to see what's down there. I just want to get it up and over, you know?
Right. Wyatt just asked me a question on my phone. What's the weirdest bycatch? We told this story a few months ago on Story Time with Kelly and I. Wyatt, when I was running the HoopNet open party trips in Long Beach back in 2005, 2006, 2007, in 2006, I caught a king size mattress in my propellers on the boat.
Okay.
They sucked into both. It sucked off the bottom of the bay in Huntington Harbor, stuck to the bottom of our boat, stuck to both propellers, both rudders. We couldn't move. We couldn't go anywhere. It would shut the engines off every time I put it in gear. King size mattress with a pillow top. That's the most craziest catch I've ever had.
That's pretty crazy.
Yep. And that was on a lobster trip. So that goes in line with what you're talking about. A lot of times, though, when we're pulling those hoop nets, we get, like you watched us, we get the octopus, we get stingrays, we get sculpin, sheephead, bat rays.
I think the coolest thing that we got on the live show this year was that big horn shark. You see how big that thing was? That thing is so spectacular. Horn sharks and leopard sharks, I just love those things. But man, that was a big, big dandy right there. It was a big one.
That was a toad. That was about as big as those little horn sharks get.
Yeah. Oh, swell shark. Remember the swell shark too? We caught that swell shark. Oh, we caught 2. We caught, now I'm going back thinking. We caught one bigger one and one smaller one. And one of them was really pretty. It was that calico pattern on it.
Yeah. That's the unique thing about hooping. You just don't know what's going to come over the rail.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, Brett, I'll tell you a horn shark story. You got bit by a horn shark. I got bit by a horn shark at San Clemente Island back when I was running the Seahorse, and it bit down on my thumb. And he was this big. And I was showing the kids on the boat, and I put my thumb near his mouth. He bit down on my thumb and he never let go. We had to cut his head off. I had to ride the boat all the way home as the captain with the shark's head hanging off my thumb. We had no way to get it off.
Wow.
It wouldn't come off. We couldn't pry it open with a pair. We had two pairs of pliers, two guys trying to pry it, wouldn't come open. And every time they tried to pull on it, I thought the tip of my thumb was going to come off. Finally, when we got him in to the harbor, we got what do you call it? A pry bar out of our car and opened his mouth with the pry bar. That's how strong that bite is. And they got teeth, gang. If you think a horn shark doesn't have teeth, the next time Justin catches one, we'll do a close-up. They got a whole bunch of little needles that all face backwards into his mouth. So when he clomps down, I don't think the way he bit down so hard, Justin, and the way that those teeth are shaped backwards, I think when he bit down, it just locked onto me because of the way they were bent backwards. He couldn't open and I could, but I couldn't carry the shark around. I know, I feel bad. I had cut his head off, but as I had to.
So if anyone wants to go back on the video last night, the live video, it's at 1 hour and 1 minute. It's right around that time. And you can see, you get a glimpse of him. All you see is the side of him, but you can see the size of it just by seeing one side of the lobster take off. It's pretty freaking amazing. It was crazy. We're breaking records this year.
Yeah, Devo, I remember the steel cable. That was from my good buddy Roger Healy, who fishes right in front of Dana Point with some of his stuff. He told me to quit running it over, and I just ran it over anyway. And then I got steel cable in the propeller and the shaft on the Seahorse, and I was stopped dead in my tracks. Yep. I'll never forget that day. Don't worry.
I'm not sure how big it was, but all I can say is it was a 36-inch net. It wouldn't fit inside the net. It was hovered over the net, like covering it, and it covered almost the whole circumference of the net, just sitting there. And as soon as we pulled it up, everyone went into shock, looked at it, was like, what the heck? The net went sideways, and the lobster went, do, 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 do. It didn't even go fast. It was like, do, 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 see ya.
So, Justin, Larry Hansen's asking if we've ever tried those spider crabs. They call them sheep crab. Here's the problem, Larry. They are covered in that mud. So that mud, when it dries out, or if you, let's just say you took that crab home and you cooked it, that stench of that mud, you'll never get it out of your house ever again. You'll never get it out of your house. And if you look at their legs, they're tiny. I mean, it's a big animal. The legs are very, very small. And when you do cook it and break it open, there's hardly any meat inside. Somebody last night said, Martin Jordan said, oh, they're very sweet. They are not sweet enough to stink up my house or my boat. Those things are nasty. They're better to keep them in the bay so that they can keep the harbor cleaned.
Yeah. They don't even look good. I mean, I like to look at what I'm going to eat, and if it looks good, I'll eat it. That doesn't even look appetizing whatsoever.
Now,
I think I tried it a long time ago, and the only meat was over the cap. You have to boil it and pull the cap off, in which it does stink up your entire house. So pull the cap off, and then you got to fight all the lungs or whatever it is inside of there too. And then you get a teaspoon of meat to try.
Right. And it's a big hassle, and everything stinks like crazy.
Yeah. Yep. And then I seen when I was driving home right now, watching the show or listening to the show. Can't watch. I was driving. So I was listening about someone asked, I think Tim or someone, about the 2-speed reel.
Yes.
I have a 2-speed reel, and I've never used 2-speed. I've never clicked it in a 2-speed. But I have a someone that has a disability that they can't put too much pressure on their arms to actually crank that weight. So this year, I'm going to try putting it in 2-speed and having that person reel it in on 2-speed, because in 2-speed, it's only doing like 2 turns on the spool itself. So it's going to take forever to reel it in, but at the same time, at least that person will be able to reel it in. So
right. Yeah, I've never used it.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. Somebody just sent me a message about a spring line. If you're going to want to tie your spring line as tight as you can, we're in Southern California where the docks are floating. They're not on piers. That's why my videos get so many hate messages from people saying, "Oh, you can't tie it up tight like that." You absolutely can in Southern California because we're on floating docks. The dock goes up and down with the boat and the tide. So you want to tie up those spring lines as tight as you can. You're going to want to use Samson braid, though. Never use nylon rope. Nylon rope's like a slip and slide. You're never going to get it's never going to cinch down. It's never going to get tight. It's always going to be slipping and sliding. But if you use some Samson braid, it'll work just fine. So hopefully that helps you and answers your question. Yeah, Dave Burris, you have to because of your arm. That's why you would use a 2-speed. But back in the day, you never would. You want that power handle. You want to be, when you turn that handle, you want to gain six feet of line every time. You don't want to gain a foot of line every time. There is a time for it. You're rail rodding. You're on the rail. You're rail rodding. You're using the boat as a fulcrum. That's going to be phenomenal. But when you're holding the rod, there's never, I don't know. I want to turn the handle and get it over with as fast as I can. Right?
So I'm where I was just now is I was at the Michael's and getting paint. I'm making a tuna plaque thing for Anthony. And that tuna right there was just at 300 pounds. And it took him, not in 2-speed, reeling it in just under 12 minutes. All he did is put it in a rail. For those of you that have boats, you can't do this on a sport boat. Put it in the rail, put the boat in gear, don't throttle, and reel it in. All you're doing is you're turning the head of that fish to you, and you're pulling him through the water column. That's all you're doing. He's going to come straight up to the boat. And if you all seen that video on your saltwater guide, you'll see that the tuna just gave up. It was just under 12 minutes. It gave up. It was like, okay, you got me. And it just came up dead pretty much in under 12 minutes. It was pretty spectacular. And no 2-speed. We didn't 2-speed at all. Just put it into strike. We actually put it just over strike and pumped that baby in. We were at about 35 pounds of pressure on it. Yeah. we get them in right away.
Brett, I just read your message. If we had video cameras back when that happened, I guarantee I'd be in prison right now. So thank God that we didn't have any video cameras back in those days. I'm just being honest. That's all I got is my honesty. And yeah, I'm very, very grateful. There were no cameras back in those days. You had a camera that was an Instamatic and you went and got your film developed at the Photomat, kids. You don't even know what the heck we're talking about. A lot of guys had instant cameras in their tackle boxes and they got lots of great pictures of me.
You remember those ones? I forgot what it was called, but you took it and the picture would come out the front of it.
Yeah, Polaroid one step.
Yes, those were so cool back then. I remember those. They're like this big, you know, and
my grandson or somebody got one for Christmas. They're making them again, Justin. I don't know what company's making them, but Polaroid. Remember, you had to get the Polaroid camera, and the film was like a cartridge, and it was like $300 for 5 pictures or something. It was crazy, but it was wild. You take the picture, gang, and you would watch it develop right in front of you. It was
and you shake it, and it develops faster.
Yeah, you thought it did because you would just swing it in the wind as it would dry out.
It's funny, you know. So when my mom passed away, she had all these tapes from when we were kids and everything was on those VHF tapes. It was pretty cool. It's hard to view them now. I wanted to transfer them to a DVD. What is it?
Did you see David Nightingale's comment? Yeah, that's right, Jeanette. You shook it and you blew on it so it would dry out. Did you see what he said? What is he saying?
Yeah, I seen what he said. He basically liked it. He said he felt like he was watching an episode of Grumpy Old Men.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's so much. Everyone has so much fun. So Tut's booked me out quite a few more times. So a lot of passengers that come on my boat, they have so much fun. It's more than what you're just watching live, because all you're watching is when we're getting to the point, right? Right when we're pulling, and that's all you're watching. But you're not watching all the before and all the after and everything else. And it's so much fun that literally almost everyone that's come with me is booking 2, 3, 4 more trips.
And Tut's just a great human being. He's just a wonderful man to have on the boat. He's very knowledgeable, and he has his own boat, gang. That's the really cool thing about what we do and what Justin does. You don't have to drag all your stuff up and down the dock and on your boat and then go worry about getting bait, then get in at night and get the lobsters clean, your boat clean, and then go to work. You can go out and you're watching right now. I see you on there. You can let people know it's pretty spectacular. You step on the boat. Justin takes you to where they are. You catch your lobsters and you go home. And in the middle, you just have as much fun as you can possibly have. And those of you that watched on Justin saying you didn't get to see the in-betweens with most people, but on the night that me and Amir were there, you got to see a lot of fun stuff.
So that was how long does it take me to prepare everything? So I live in Riverside. My boat is over in Long Beach, San Pedro, and it takes me about just over an hour to get there. I'll leave my house around 9:30 in the morning, and I'll be at the boat starting to prep everything at 11. And then normally we leave in between 3 and 4 o'clock. So that's how long. I like to get everything already prepared. I'll have an estimate of what depth we're going to go that day. So I'll put all my ropes to that depth. And obviously you've seen it on the live show. It changes. Sometimes I'll go deeper. Sometimes I'll go shallower. If I start out deeper, then I want to go shallow. You're going to see my slack rope. But we know how to work around that, as you've seen. And no, we're not getting prop fouled. I love the comments, though, saying, oh, you're going to get prop fouled. Cool. No, we're not. We're not going to get prop fouled. And Dave's the one that taught me. As you've seen the other night with Dave and Amir, not one time. Dave was trying to make me get prop fouled. He was trying a few times.
Because Amir said he would go in the water, so I wanted to see him going in the water. I thought that would have been some phenomenal content.
I know.
Gang, when you're watching these shows, when you're watching what Justin's doing, listen, I already did everything possible wrong. I started out doing this. There was nobody to show us how to do it. There was no one that was doing it at the level. You go out on your skiff and you go throw some hoop nets in the water. It's a totally different thing than doing it with passengers on the boat for hire and the whole system and everything going on and on a yacht. On a sport boat, I understand they got a couple deckhands. They drive forward on them because they can't back up on them because it's just too gnarly and it's too hard to see and all that stuff. But on these yachts that we're running, it's all about backing up on your skiff. It's about backing up. Whatever you're on, the boat goes the best backwards because that's where the power unit is. That's where the propellers are. So you can maneuver and drive backwards. I did it on an 80-foot Viking. I did it on a 65-foot Viking. I did it on a 65-foot Hatteras. I've done it on a 60-foot Viking. And I've done it on a 44-foot Pacifica. And believe me, and then I did it on a 46-foot Bertram is how we first started. I did everything you could possibly do wrong. I've put hoop nets in my propellers. I've put miles of rope in my propellers. I've done everything you could possibly do wrong. So when we're on a trip and Justin's showing you what he's doing, that's because that is the way. We're not going to get we have total control when we're back there. We can see the slack line. We know if we're supposed to move, if we're not supposed to move. You think Justin's paying attention to them pulling the hoop? No, he's paying attention to where his boat's positioned at. He's paying attention to which way his steering wheel is pointed. Rudders are pointed. He's paying attention to if he can put the port one in forward or the starboard one, because it's going to matter if it's going to suck the rope in. All this stuff's being calculated in his brain every night. You guys see the hoop net come over the rail with no lobsters in it, and then you start telling him, well, you should drive up forward on it. You should pull over there. You should use a hoop. You should do this. You should do that. Gang, there is not one human being on the planet Earth that's catching more lobsters right now than Justin Botrell. So whatever you think is the thing is the thing, you know what you want to do? You want to do it how Justin's doing it. Every single charter boat, every single captain, every single private boater wants to know what Justin's doing, gang. That's why he's booked up for the whole month of February.
Literally, there's charter boats right now that are asking around to find out what I'm doing and where I'm going. And all they have to do is ask me. That's it. How about you just ask the source, right? That's all they have to do. So I'm sure they're going to watch this. So there you go. Just ask me. Ask me. So I'll open up 2 days for 2 more days for February, but that's going to be.
Those are your sleep days. What are you talking about?
Sleep, I know. So if anyone wants to come out with me, I have February 21st. It's on a Wednesday.
And do you see what Anthony just wrote? That's so true, gang. You have no idea. When he's all done too at the end of the night and he's dead tired, then he has to turn around and drive all the way back home. Hey, there's our good buddy, Elliot. Hi, Elliot.
Hey, Elliot. How are you?
He's going to throw up some stuff on here, gang. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to your saltwater guide. If you're tired of sucking at fishing, you want to be a part of this thing. You want to be a part of your saltwater guide. I was talking to a couple of gentlemen over at the Bard Hall show, and one of them was a sport boat captain, and he was younger than my youngest son, and he was telling me that the biggest problem the industry has with me is they feel that I'm selling spots. And I had to stop him for a minute, and I had to say, in 1989, Don Brockman, myself, and Joe Bongos got together with a guy named Danny Jackson, and we shot all these spots in 1989. I looked at him and I said, how old are you in 89? He said, it was 7 more years till I was born. I'm all, exactly. Gang, we're not selling spots. You can go down to Walmart or Target or West Marine and get all the spots. Mark Wish and I made these spots. I made the videos and Mark wrote the book back when most of you weren't even born yet. These spots, a lot of people have them in their GPS. There's Amir with Sonny and the gang at Amir's comedy show. Amir is so cool. He's going to become a guest celebrity on the show. He's going to try to be on once or twice a month from now on. He just absolutely loves us. But Casey Shedd's our guest tomorrow. We're going to get to hear some phenomenal stories about his grandfather and his father. His father started AFCO. His grandfather is the creator of SeaWorld. Not, oh, he bought SeaWorld from someone else. Nope. His grandfather created SeaWorld. And you can see an interview with his father over at Your Saltwater Guide, where you can find out everything about SeaWorld and what really is going on. Yeah, show us that. That'd be awesome. I would love to see that.
So also, maybe I'll talk to Amir. Amir is addicted to Your Saltwater Guide now, everyone, just to let you know. He is addicted. We hooked him. He's good. He's like he's an amazing human being, though. Oh my goodness. Maybe I'll talk to him, and maybe he can do a guest celebrity appearance on some of the open parties.
That would be awesome. Our community, gang, is second to none. There's nothing like our community out there. If you're tired of seeing all the negative stuff on those other websites out there, if you're sick and tired of not being able to read when your children are in the same room, because some of these websites just have so much vile content on them, believe me, you come to my website, yoursaltwaterguide.com, or watch any of our videos, you'll never, ever, ever have to cover your children's ears. You won't. I did that for fun. I said the SHIT word at my seminar on Sunday afternoon because I had literally 50 pounds of stuff that I still hadn't given away, and I wanted all the children to get it in the audience. That's the only reason why I said
everyone.
So I think Elliot's got a preview to show everybody here. maybe. That was the other night on the live show. That was pretty fun.
I'm.
I love Iowa. And just to let everyone know, yes, Dave drank a coffee. Yes, I did. A big coffee, baby. Woo! You're a saltwater guy. Making it out, but check out my.
All right. What was the first name again? Oh, got it.
Crazy.
All right.
All right, let's go kill some shit, Justin. Okay, that's it's a half an inch too big. Can we keep it? A year because. Don't throw it over.
This one's good eating right here.
Yep. Oh my gosh, gang. If you can't feel that energy, that was some spectacular energy there on the boat. If you saw what we were doing too, when we bring those hoops over the side there, we're not hanging them over looking at them. Those things go straight on the boat, turned upside down, shake the living bejesus out of it. Lobsters all fall on the deck. Then you're ready to throw the net over right away. Too many times I watch all of you bring those nets up on Justin's boat and you stand there and you look and then you try to grab them out of the net with your hands. Turn the net upside down and shake the living bejesus out of it, gang. It works flawless. I've been doing it for a very, very long time. It works every single time. But you would have not believed the amount of laughter. I think I laughed from when I was on the show at 3 o'clock in the convention center until I got to my hotel room at 1:30 in the morning. It was just an incredible evening.
Fun. It was so freaking fun. So,
I had so much fun.
I have only 2 spots open now for the 21st.
Wow, that quick. That's crazy.
So if you want to get on it, just call or text me at 951-703-9442.
But back to what we were talking about, community and friendship and camaraderie, gang. That's what you get over at the website. I don't even think you can put a price tag on that. If you're into fishing, the reason why we charge to be on the website is because of the value of the website. But the camaraderie and the community and the same people. That's just one of the videos on the website, gang. You go to our website and check out everything that's going on over there. I am so proud of the community that we built. The lack of negativity is the key to our website, is the key to our whole thing.
That is so freaking cool. That is good.
That's what John Stanley and Tina got to see the other day when they were out there.
Oh, shit.
Dude.
That's not us talking like that.
I know. Last night on the show when we pulled up that big lobster, you may have heard some bad language. Sorry. I kind of lost control of myself.
Look at that. There was some fun to be had on Justin's boat, gang. If you haven't been a part of, I guarantee you he's not going to have any dates available. We're going to be super busy at the Pacific Coast Sportfishing Show. We're going to be very, very busy, and we're all going to go hoop netting the first night we get in town after we set up the booth. We're all going hooping that night. You'll be able to watch that. But if you're thinking about going, you're probably not going to get to go because you're thinking about going. So you don't want to think, you want to act, you want to call Justin, you want to get on his list because he's got He's got 2 spots left in the whole month. He's got no spots left. All right. Well, it was fun talking to you. All right. And if you don't think that we're real, gang, we go live every night on these shows. So if you don't think this is real, it's about as real as it gets. There's no editing. It's real. But you want to come and see myself, Kelly Girl, Justin, Amanda, Pokemon. You can come see Pokemon. He's going to be there. Probably have some bowls of Poke for me. But Anthony will be there. Justin will be there. Pablo will be there. We'll all be there. Big entourage in the booth. Elliot and Erica will be there. She'll be showing off all the cool clothes she designed for the website. Elliot will be there running, producing, and talking to everybody and shaking hands and letting you all know thank you very much for being a part of this. Elliot is the reason why we are as huge as we are, gang. Because when I met Elliot 3.5 years ago, I had 2,500 followers. Now we have 680,000 followers. Justin's building up a humongous following himself over on his Instagram page. So you want to follow Justin, you want to go watch that video or grab that video we just posted. It's available for you at Promar. You can check it out on there. Promar Ahi's social media platform. I think that video is incredible. That's going to stay with us for a long time, Justin.
I've watched it like 400 times already.
It's so exciting and seeing all the fun and all. I mean, Amir's a pretty big deal. He travels all over the world doing comedy. He hangs out with his good friend Theo Vaughn. They're going on a big whirlwind tour to Australia, and he's hanging out with me and you. It's pretty rad.
You would never even know that he was a celebrity. He just acts like your friend. He's there, and he's such a great personality. I don't know. Everyone needs to meet him because he is so freaking cool.
Absolutely. The guy's insane too. He's just crazy like me. We got along just perfect.
Yeah, Anthony's coffee is crazy. It's really, the Pokeco coffee is pretty strong.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And then there's real quick before we jump off here, because we've already gone over an hour and I got a mechanic waiting for me outside. Justin, what's going on at Anthony's store? Something about a free can if you mention your saltwater guide?
Yeah, so on Saturday, I'll be down there as well. It's a grand opening for the Pokeco in Aliso Viejo. I don't know the address. Anthony may be able to post it up here or something. But if you walk in there and say your saltwater guide, you just mention your saltwater guide, you're going to get a free can of that coffee.
Well, there you go. You can't beat that. And then, gang, remember we talked about this at the show. We talk about it all the time. It's the reason why Marley's room smells so good. Grab that QR code right now, gang, and go get yourself something fishy. Something fishy is an incredible product. You can eat it because that's how it's been designed. It's non-toxic. That's why it's safe for me to spray it in Marley's cage. He's got 2 flavors or 2 scents, if you will. And it's absolutely an incredible product. We used it on your boat. We use it up here at my house. We use it all the time. You're going to save on the product right there with the QR code. Go to somethingfishy.com if you can't see the QR code and enter the code YSWG, and you're going to save 10% on the bottle, and you're going to get it delivered to your house. Get something fishy, gang. You won't go wrong. You're not going to go, God, I wish I didn't buy that. I love stinking.
It does work really well. I used some yesterday on the boat right before I left it.
Nice. Justin, thanks for being on the show. I can't believe we're already done. I had to go be the best Captain Dave I can be. Got to go fix my truck. Go play with my wife. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you all very, very much. Casey Shedd is our guest tomorrow, gang. It's going to be a big show. You're going to want to hear what Casey has to say. The family's very, very, very big into CCA and conservation and worldwide cleanup of the oceans. You want to see what's going on. You want to talk to Casey. He's going to be with us tomorrow. Justin, thanks for joining us. Everybody watching, thank you very much.
Really quick. I may be on the water on Saturday. It's going to be crazy out, but I may be taking the family.
All right.
We're going to try to get that big lobster.
So do we have to have someone standing by to save you?
Yes. So stand by to save me, please.
Yes, we will
Yes, sir.
all, Wyatt, we will all be at the PCS show. The whole entourage will be there. We'll all be there. We'll have a big booth. Your saltwater guy will have a big booth there, and we'll all be there, Wyatt, checking you out. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Justin. And don't forget the show tomorrow.